This is another wild cheating story, one that almost turned dangerous when a firearm was drawn. Thankfully, no one got hurt. And the most unbelievable part? This man's wife outright told her affair partner she wasn't in a relationship at all. My wife Angela and I are both 28 years old. She works at Cracker Barrel and often takes double shifts. I work at Best Buy here in Macon, Georgia. One thing I appreciate about Georgia is this. If your spouse cheats and you can prove it, they could lose their claim to alimony. Not long ago, Angela started staying at work later than usual, or so she told me. One afternoon, I got off work early and decided to surprise her. When I walked into Cracker Barrel, one of her coworkers looked shocked to see me and casually mentioned that Angela had the day off. That floored me, because she had told me she was working a double shift and wouldn't be home until late. Why would she lie about working if she actually had the day off? I've always believed that just because you've been with someone for years doesn't mean you truly know them or what they're capable of. That night when she got home, we argued. I told her I didn't appreciate her lying about having to work. She denied lying and claimed that when she arrived at the restaurant, they told her she wasn't needed because there were already enough waitresses. I didn't believe her, but I didn't push it further. She tried to hug me after the argument, but I wasn't in the mood. That's when she caught an attitude, and from there, our relationship began to spiral downward. After that night, I noticed she started spending more evenings out with her girlfriends after work, without telling me in advance. One night, she said she was going to a bar with friends. While she was out, I decided to search the house for clues, anything that might tell me what was really going on. I checked the mail, her work clothes, and anything else I thought might hold answers. I didn't find anything suspicious, but I did stumble across a website selling GPS trackers. They were far cheaper than hiring a private investigator, something I couldn't afford anyway. In my area, PIs were charging around $9,000 or more. So I ordered a GPS tracker and installed it in Angela's car. For the first week, it showed her going to all the normal places: work, the salon, friends' houses. But it also revealed something else. On her days off, the same days she told me she had to work, she was driving across town to an apartment complex and staying there for hours. We all know what that means. One day, I went to that complex with a friend. We staked out the visitor parking lot, waiting. Sure enough, Angela pulled in. My friend drove right up in front of her. I jumped out and confronted her. "What the hell are you doing here?" I demanded. A man came running out of the building, asking if she was okay. I told him to mind his own business. He told me to get lost. That's when I showed him my wedding ring and said, "I'm her husband." My friend got out of the car with his gun in hand and told the guy to back off, which he did. Things could have ended very differently, but thankfully no one was hurt. I asked the man if he knew Angela was married. He said no, she never wore a wedding ring, and told him she wasn't in a relationship. The guy went back into his apartment. I looked at Angela, shook my head, and walked away. I went home and began packing my things, with my friend's help. Angela showed up not long after, wanting to talk. I told her there was nothing to discuss. We were done. I called a divorce lawyer the next morning and filed. Even though I didn't have photos, I had enough circumstantial evidence. A few weeks later, I ran into the affair partner again. He apologized sincerely, saying he had no idea she was married. I believed him. She had clearly lied to him, too. Angela was served divorce papers about 6 weeks later. She didn't contest it in court, which made the process quick. Friends asked why I didn't try counseling or give her another chance. But the truth was, I couldn't trust her again after all the lies, and we couldn't afford counseling anyway. I also didn't want to waste any more time or money. I didn't tell everyone what happened, but my friend, the one who was with me when I caught her, set the record straight when Angela started bad-mouthing me. I cut off all contact with Angela, her friends, and her family. I was done. 2 months after the divorce, I heard Angela had moved in with her affair partner. That didn't last long. They broke up less than 6 months later. Life was moving forward for me, until one day at work, Angela showed up with a newborn baby in her arms. She asked if I'd take a DNA test at her expense, to see if I was the father. Apparently, besides the affair partner, she'd also been involved with 2 other men. I agreed to the test. When the results came back, it confirmed what I already suspected. I was not the father. 4 months later, the man she'd been living with was arrested in a drug bust. Angela moved back in with her strict parents. One of her friends later told me that when her boyfriend got out on bond and came to see her, Angela's father told him never to come back. The guy threatened him, and Angela's dad told him, "Fine, come back if you want. I'll have something waiting for you." Old-timers like him don't bluff. Angela soon moved out of her parents' house and in with a friend. That's where she is now. As for me, I've started dating a little, but my trust in people is still pretty shaky. I went on one date with a woman I met on Bumble who looked nothing like her pictures. We only met for coffee, so no harm done. The second woman I matched with accused me of being cheap because I suggested coffee instead of dinner. I told her goodbye and hung up. The third date was with a woman 10 years older than me who had just had a baby. She was 39 with a newborn son. Needless to say, I didn't call her back either. Instead, I'm focusing on hitting the gym with my friend and getting back in shape. For now, I'm staying off the dating apps and taking things slow. In the end, I dodged a bullet literally and figuratively. The DNA test proved I wasn't the father, and I won't be paying child support for a kid that isn't mine.